So I have a real question for y'all today. How do we create more unity and cultivate a community forward mindset amongst Black creators on YouTube specifically? And I'm asking y'all for real, so please don't just sit and ponder with this question. I want you to think about it, and then I really want you to reply and respond in the comments. See, what I'm trying to do here on my channel, not what I'm trying to do, I'm going to change my language right now. What I am doing here on this channel is I am creating, cultivating, and nurturing a community of Black creators who not only want to reach out and collaborate, but who truly want to shift, right, our culture here as Black creators on YouTube. I am reaching out to all of you because I really want to receive that feedback because I am working on things and I want it to benefit all of us. So again, I ask you, how do we create more unity and a community forward mindset amongst Black creators on YouTube? I'm asking you for real to contribute to this conversation. We have to start getting comfortable contributing to conversations because that's how we grow. Seriously. Like, it's really time that we start speaking to one another and strategizing and unionizing. We can't keep having just like side conversations or bottling everything up inside and not sharing with anybody and then saying, oh, nobody shares. Well, did you leave a comment? Did you respond to the poll? Did you send the email? Did you communicate with your favorite creator? Like are you engaging in these conversations, or are you telling yourself you're engaging in these conversations but saying absolutely nothing and then finding yourself frustrated because nobody has suggested the thing that you're thinking about? Well, guess what? I don't know what you're thinking about if you don't share. And that's why I come on here to y'all every week with these episodes, right? Sometimes twice a week with these episodes, because I would like to communicate to you all, to my community of almost 5,000 people, hey y'all, hey, what I am feeling and what I am seeing and how I am going to do what I can in this space, right? And on my side of YouTube to shift, to shift the narrative, to actually change the narrative. Okay, word on Marion. So I want to start this conversation off by talking about brand partnerships, right? I don't want to have that regular, I'm not even going to say regular. I don't want to have the current conversation, and it seems like the only conversation we all seem to be having when it comes to brand sponsorships and partnerships with Black creators, which is, oh, we're just not getting paid enough. So here's the thing. First of all, we already know that Black creators do not have a set standard when it comes to what we are to receive in payment, mostly because a lot of us are not being transparent about what we're earning when we are working with brands, especially when we are on the up and up, right? So when you are a new creator, I want to really implore you, right? I want to implore all of our new creators, which means I am deeply, like desperately asking you to do this thing that I'm about to ask you, right? I would really implore you all that whenever you are approached by a brand, or whenever you say yes to a brand deal, unless you contractually like cannot, share those details, please discuss how much they paid you publicly. And whether that means you just slip it into your videos, right? You just kind of drop the number in your video as you casually talk about that sponsorship or that partnership. If that's you making a complete thread to talk about your experience working with that brand, what it felt like, blah, blah, blah. However you can do it, please do it. Because I promise you, it will help all of us in the long run. But I've been having this thought recently about community forward thinking, right? How can I make sure that my actions, especially the actions that I take here on YouTube, are community forward? Because that's just like the way I'm thinking right now. And so when it comes to brand partnerships, when it comes to collaborations, right, I am eyeing some Black owned businesses and brands who are smaller, right? Who don't even maybe have their first 1,000 followers. These are people that I actually, purchase from. These are people's businesses that I support. And, something that I really don't see from Black creators when it comes to businesses and brands, not even about if they're Black owned or not, but we're going to talk about that because I'm Black. You Black listening if you're not, okay? Is that when somebody comes out with something, right, there isn't this mass level of support. There might be one or two people that maybe I guess that person considers their friends in the space who will tag and post it, but there isn't this like mass scale of support, right? We're not really thinking community forward. For example, let's just say influencer A, right, is starting her new, I don't know, dry brush business. I don't know. And she drops a website, drops a link, mentions it in her YouTube video. The business is live. What I don't see is 10 other creators in her space, whether or not they deem her a friend or a peer in their space, right? They might just watch her from afar, may never had a conversation with her. I don't see people going, oh, look at that. Another young Black creator like myself doing something, and oh, I'm actually interested in their product. I don't see them buying the product and just promoting that product because, for free. And I know, we want to get to the conversation of, well, we deserve to be paid, this, that, and the third. Yes, I understand that, but let me ask you this. Why are we always so hung up on also getting paid by, people that look like us before we do anything for each other? Because I don't get it. I've seen y'all take the Fashion Nova clothes for free and promo it because they gave you free clothes. They didn't give you no money. They didn't pay for your rent. They didn't pay a light bill. They didn't pay a phone bill. They didn't pay a cable bill. They didn't pay your internet. They didn't pay your water bill. They didn't pay your heating. Your electric. They didn't pay for nothing. They sent you some clothes that you probably cannot wear in a couple of years or even a couple of months, depending on how well a husband to watch. But you took it to promote it, right? Any of these larger brands, a lot of times small creators are more willing to accept product for promo with them, right? A larger brand than a Black owned brand. You want to get paid because you deserve to get paid, right? And I believe that you do. I'm always going to advocate that you deserve to get paid, but I'm asking you, why are you not keeping that energy across the board? If you feel like whomever's boutique needs to pay you, then so does Fashion Nova. Because Fashion Nova doesn't care about you at all, right? And so I am now challenging myself. I'm not even going to say challenge because challenge implies that it's hard. I am making an agreement with myself, right? That when I see a Black creator coming out with a business, a product, a service, whatever, if it really speaks to me, my wants, needs, and desires, I'm going to purchase it, right? I'm going to purchase it and I will promo it as much as I can for free. I don't care. Right? Y'all gonna see it in my videos. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna tag it. I'm gonna hype them up as much as I can. But I think it would be so awesome, for example, if a couple of Black creators, and by a couple I mean 10 to 20, because that's the numbers you really need to get something to start like trending on this platform. About 10 to 20 Black creators to just pick a brand, just pick a Black owned brand, right? Somebody probably on the smaller side who really needs the sales, but also just needs the exposure, just needs to be known more, and talk about them. Start talking about them. Like if you're a small Black creator, right? And maybe you're in community with 4 or 5 other Black creators, y'all should really get together and say, what's a Black owned business that we all kind of like, that we all want to buy from, or that we all have bought from, but we don't really talk about too much because whatever, we don't talk about it, right? And if y'all just decided to promote that brand consistently in your next 5 vlogs, right? Or 5 videos or whatever the kind of content is that you make, imagine the impact that would have on a community scale. Think about it. Because one thing we know is expensive is advertisement and marketing. And I think that smaller Black-owned brands and even larger Black-owned brands would really benefit from making sure that when they're trying to promote their products, especially on YouTube, that first of all, they work with the smaller creators because, let's be honest, smaller creators tend to have a greater trust with their audience because they're smaller, right? And you can maintain that trust as you grow larger. But when you're smaller, that trust is almost sort of a given. Not always, but sort of, because it's like, well, if your community only consists of a couple thousand people or a couple hundred people, they won't expect that you are just doing something just for the money, right? If it ends up being a paid sponsorship. So I really want you guys to sit up on that because I've been thinking about maybe picking a brand and getting together, I'll send my emails and such. Getting together with a group of, like I said, 10 to 20 smaller Black creators and just being like, hey, y'all. Because listen, I would 1,000% be up to even sponsoring the products, or all of us pooling our money together to buy, whatever the products are, and promoting. Like, just deciding, like, here's a Black-owned business that we would like to target. You know what I'm saying? Here's a Black-owned business that we support. Here's a Black-owned business that we want to uplift. And we are all going to, put an integrated ad about this company into our content. Tag them, link them, do all the things, and do that for, like, our next 3, uploads to YouTube, because I really want to see what impact that has. Like, in theory, I know it'll have a great impact, but I want to see that impact in action. I think that we are really underutilizing YouTube as a platform for collective change in the Black community. I really do. I think that we haven't taken the time to sit down and develop strategy for how YouTube can advance us, like, as a community, as a Black community. It's always nice to see every now and then when 1, 2, 3 of us, right, get picked up by the algorithm. But I think we have to stop focusing on, like, just trying to get picked up by the algorithm and just focus on the communities that we have here. You can achieve so much with literally just 500 subscribers, just 1,000 subscribers, just 5,000. Like, it's not about getting those big numbers of subscribers. It's more about what is the community you're cultivating. Because I talked about in the last episode, right? Like, I have a Patreon now, and some people would argue that I've started my Patreon too early. Like, why would you have a Patreon, when you only have 4,000 and some change subscribers? Like, who's about to pay for your content? Well, lo and behold, seems like quite a few of you, want to pay for Patreon exclusive content. And that's my point. First of all, stop underselling yourself. Stop undervaluing yourself on YouTube. Second of all, start being more strategic about how YouTube could work for you. If you want to start working with brands, if you want to start getting paid that way, start doing it. I haven't given y'all much information, context, or background on, like, what it is that I do, but I do a myriad of things. And one of those things is PR and marketing, and helping influencers and content creators pivot, right, on their platforms, or introducing them to new platforms and getting them set up there and building their audiences out and maintaining their communities. And something that I talk about a lot is you need to sit down and target 5 companies and brands that you want to work with. These companies and brands need to have less than 10,000 followers on their social media platforms, either combined or individually. If them being Black owned is your focus, and with most of my clients, the brands being Black owned is a focus. Make sure they're Black owned, of course. Do your homework and make sure they are, not just saying they are. And then start making that content. Like, start producing that content. Start making those integrated ads. But I think if we started seeing this on a mass level, it would do something. For example, like, think about this. How many times do we see, like, Dior, Gucci, Prada, Shoe, even Walmart and Target, like, actually team up as brands to collaborate and do things? That's because these large brands understand that at the end of the day, they could all be doing the same thing. At the end of the day, we don't even really need Target if we have Walmart. Let's be serious for a minute. Walmart can do and provide for you everything that Target does. But Walmart exists and Target exists. And Dwayne Reed exists. And CVS exists, right? There's 1,000 different kind of places you can go to get literally the exact same thing. Sometimes they even carry half of their inventory. They carry the same brand. So it's like, why do you go to Target versus Walmart? At the end of the day, I'm going to be quite honest with you. Walmart doesn't care if you go to Target, and Target doesn't care if you go to Walmart. Both of them existing benefits both of them. So when they partner up and do things, right, company-wide, it's because it'll benefit both of them no matter what. But I don't see us taking these real-life examples and putting that into our own communities. We don't have to do it the same way that they do, but we should be looking at these examples and altering them so they work for us, right? And for our communities and for our content and for our businesses and brands. You know, how many Black creators and influencers have started their own companies, and how often are they collaborating with each other and uniting their audiences? Like, I really want you to think about that, because Target, Dior, Gucci, Prada, Walmart, right? Like, these are brands that have crossed over with each other, partnered with each other, because Target wants, trust me, Target wants the people who shop at Target to know what's over there at Walmart, and Walmart wants people who shop at Walmart to know what's over there at Target, because at the end of the day, they will both make money from it. It doesn't matter. Like, they will both gain more success for it. Whereas I feel like we are stuck in this mindset of, I don't want to introduce my audience to what you're doing over there because I will lose something. First of all, that's a very lack mindset, that you're not going to lose nothing. In fact, you'll gain more because your audience now goes, oh, look at this generous queen. You know, like, they share. Like, they are going to put me on as somebody else's content, somebody else's platform, somebody else's business, even if their business is the exact same thing, because it benefits the both of you. If you have a candle company and another creator has a candle company, y'all should be working together. Like, you can still make your candles and they can still make their candles, but every now and again, you know, maybe quarterly, y'all get together and release a joint candle. You know, maybe the first quarter, that joint collaborated candle is only available on Influencer A's website, and then for the next quarter, the joint candle is only available on Influencer B's website. Like, I don't understand why we don't work like this. We want to be so insular. We want to be kept so to ourselves. We want to be so individualistic that we literally miss out on bags and opportunity, and we miss out on chances to expand and to do more, not only for ourselves but for our communities, because we are so afraid of, quote unquote, losing something. But what are you losing when you work together? You feel me? What are you losing when you work together? I don't get that. Let me give y'all an example. When Emma Chamberlain dropped her coffee company, right? And if some of you, when Emma Chamberlain has a coffee company, yeah, girl, she got her own coffee now. When Emma Chamberlain dropped her coffee company, pretty much every person she has ever crossed paths with ever through YouTube was reposting. Even if they did not drink coffee, don't like coffee, never tried coffee a day in their life, all the people who were aware of her and interacted with her, who have influence, were promoting her brand. They were supporting her and making their audiences aware of what she was doing over there. Now, of course, some people who were integrating her coffee products into their vlogs were being paid for it, but a lot of them were not being paid for it. Right? I work in these spaces, y'all. A lot of them weren't being paid to talk about it. They were talking about her coffee company and the success of it. And let me be clear, the people that look like Emma, okay, you feel me? Don't look like me and you. Look like they and them, you feel me? The people that looked like Emma Chamberlain were promoting her heavy, 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 supporting her heavy, 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 introducing their audience to what she's doing. And some of them also have their own coffee companies as well. Let me tell you why they were doing this, okay? Let me tell you why they were doing this. One, first of all, no matter how much your fave is a fave to you, millions of people do not know they exist. And the only way some of those people will start to know that your fave exists is by you talking about them and by others doing the same. But really, let's get back to the Emma Chamberlain, right? What I saw, what I was seeing when Emma Chamberlain released her coffee was that people who look like Emma, who watched her content, right, even just once, were supporting her however they could. And they were doing this because her success is their success too. That's how they see it, because when she succeeds, it sets a new standard for all of them. And they can all move forward with that new standard and succeed as well. See, they realize it's no benefit to us if Emma releases something like this and we don't talk about it, we don't support it, we don't purchase it, we don't tell our audiences about it. See, because if Emma's coffee company had flopped, it meant the next, let's be clear here, white creator that looked like her who wanted to do the same thing would have a more difficult time finding investors, right? Being able to source, okay? would have a more difficult time getting those resources that they might need, because they would go and look and say, well, we've already tried to do a coffee company with an influencer and it just didn't go well. So we're not sure we should try to do that with you, right? What makes you better than Emma Chamberlain over here? So they said, oh, we have to support her. We have to make sure this succeeds. And we cannot let up, because her success will be our success. Emma's coffee company does well. It means when I decide I want to launch mine, I'll have an easier time getting investors, finding resources, getting everything I need to get my company up and running, because Emma can be used as an example for myself, because I'm a creator, right? You know, I'm on the platform. Emma has her other million. I might have maybe 2 million less than her, but it doesn't matter, because I can go, well, listen here, compare the numbers, look at the analytics, but at the end of the day, she succeeded. So it means there's obviously, right, a desire for this in the market. There's a demand for this in the market. That's how they're thinking. We don't think like that. Why we don't think like that, y'all? Again, I really want to push these conversations. I really want to push the envelope of these conversations, because you think about that example I just gave y'all. Maybe people don't like coffee, didn't drink coffee, never had coffee in their house, was buying sister's coffee, promoting it, making it, maybe sometimes pretending that they were drinking it to make sure she succeeded, because they said, if she succeeds, I succeed. Her coffee company does well. When I want to start mine, it can do well. That's the level of support they have for each other. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Emma looks like me. Emma makes content like me. I can identify with Emma, so I'm going to support what she's doing, because it doesn't matter. Her success is my success. Doesn't matter if she's never been in a video of mine. Doesn't matter if we never collaborated. She's on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. She looks like me. I look like her. I also want to do some of these things that she's doing, so I need to make sure that her shit goes well. So when I try, people are more willing to give me the money to do the things, right? Right. So they work as a group. Is my point. They work as a group always. Think about it. Just think about it. They always work as a group. And so I need us to think about that. And I need us to ask ourselves, how were we swindled into being so individualistic? How are we swindled into not working as groups? As groups. I'm talking beyond the stupid, I'm not going to say stupid, but beyond the watch for watch hours, little groups, the like for like, the comment for the share for share. Nah, baby. I'm talking about down to the business level. I'm talking about having a strategy. You think they didn't strategize? Babes, I work in this market. You think they didn't strategize? Like I said, of course, some of them were paid, but a lot of them weren't. It was a strategic move on their end. They work as groups. It was a strategic move. They made sure she succeeded. And if you pay attention, a lot of little white influencers have their own coffee companies now. And it all happened after Emma. And it's not how y'all like to frame it. Oh, they're copying her. Ain't nobody copying. They're not copying. They're working as a group. They're not copying. And that right there, ooh, I hate when y'all be like, she copying. But first of all, shut up. There's nothing new under the sun and the moon and the stars. There's nothing new. There's nothing at this point in 2022, ain't nothing new. Unless you create and develop a whole entirely like technology, nothing's new. It's about how can you do it and make sure whatever you're doing it does well. How can you make sure it succeeds? They worked as a group. So all the little girlies that were able to start their coffee companies, right? And their matcha brands and things like that were able to do it because they made sure that Emma's did well. So when they went to the bank and when they sat down and had the meeting with people in the suits, they were more willing to work with them because Emma succeeded. Emma did well and they sold the support. They work as a group. So when the next one came out with her coffee company and the next one came out with her matcha, they all did the same exact thing. So each time one of them wants to do the same or similar, they have an easier path to it. Think about that. How are we making sure that the path the person behind us walks is easier, is more clear, is straightforward. There's less twists and turns and detours. How are we ensuring that here on this space for us on YouTube? What is our plan? How will we strategize? And to make it clear, y'all, this is why I got a Patreon, because I'm not finna give that game out too much. You know what I'm saying? Out loud in the public. You know, they be they be watching, they be listening. Can't let them know what we doing all the time. But I'm sharing this part of it all to start to get the gears turning in y'all minds and to start to get y'all thinking about, oh, right, group economics and group dynamics. What are we doing as groups? How are we forming these unions, these groups? What is our strategies? What is our strategies? Because they don't trick y'all. They don't trick y'all about the business of YouTube. They don't tricked y'all. Business is not as much about individualism as y'all have been sold that it is. It's just not true. It's just not true. These large corporations, these larger YouTubers, they are all working together. They might have made it look like they're for themselves, about themselves, but baby, they're all working together. They are all working together. We're not working together. It's not about collaboration videos. It's about working together. It's about you dropped a video. Great. Here's the exact formula to make sure your video is about to get 100 views in that first hour. And we're going to all ensure it. 20 of us are going to tweet out your link, okay, for an hour. You know what I'm saying? We're going to repost it. We're going to share it. They have instructions. When I tell you I'm not even exaggerating, they have instructions. You know why? I've been the person to write some damn instructions. There's instructions of what you do to make sure certain things happen because they work together as a group and they pass along the information. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And I need y'all to start getting together and start doing it. Instead of just being like, this is what's not happening for us. Hey, shut up. It's not that it's not happening. You're not making it happen for us. Make it happen for us. Make it happen for you. Make it happen for us. Anyway, we have to start working together on a much larger scale, especially on platforms like this. And I feel like a platform like YouTube really can help us do this. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is if you are creating your own communities with smaller Black creators, y'all should really get together, sit down, identify some Black-owned brands, some companies y'all want to work with, and just start doing it. Buy a product or two and start to regularly speak about that product. Keep track of how your followers, your subscribers, your community responds to that. See if you make that company any sales. But all of y'all keep track of that. Do it for a while. Do it for a while and see what kind of communal shift starts to happen, not only for you, for that business, but just for your surrounding area. I'm telling y'all, it has to be a group effort. If we're going to change things like systemically here on YouTube, but just in the influencer and creator market in general, it's going to have to be a group effort. We are going to have to start to get on one accord. We can have many accords, but we all have to be aware of them and then decide which one needs to be applied to whatever scenario, situation for us to receive the best possible outcome. But it's a group effort. Work as a group, y'all. Start making your group, start finding your tribe, and start working together. That's what I have to say to y'all today. Okay? Okay.